Yo! Alright, so we got a full carton here. We're gonna open up a few boxes and then we'll probably do a speed unboxing of everything else, all the rest of the 24 boxes. Alright guys, we have the first box and a whole bunch more boxes. We'll just do one box first, going over the rares and commons as well. And then from the second box onwards, we'll just go through the higher rarity cards, RR and above. And once we've gone through all that, we'll just do a review of everything that you got at the end of the carton. So starting off, this is of course the Hero Evolution. This is V-EB07 and comes with the new units for Kagero, Nova Grappler, Dragonic Overlord the End, Spinning Valiant and Harmonix Messiah right there on the cover. So yeah, and with this comes the brand new markers for Force 2, Protect 2 and Xl2. And you get one chance to get either this one, the Messiah one, the Dragonic Overlord the End Force 2 marker, or the Xl2 Spinning Valiant marker. Unfortunately, there's no Protect 2 yet, so you have to use points to exchange for those, or else you'll have to wait until V-EB07 that comes out in July. So yeah, we're just gonna get right into it. So we'll just run through the commons, and I'll point out anything that's interesting. So here's one of the new Nova Grappler Hero Archetype cards, which allows you to Soul Blast 1 when your Vanguard is attacked and you have him gain 5,000 shield for every damage you have in the damage zone. New type of utility card for Kagero, and I think it's all the Kagero, all the Force clans will probably get this. This is a card with Intercept instead of Boost, so you have a great one with 10k shield, just gives you more options, nothing too special. And this is another support card for Spinning Valiant, Nova Grapplers. His skill is that when you ride from Grade 0, ride him onto the Vanguard, show or discard, reveal a Spinning Valiant from your hand and deal 1 damage to both you and your opponent, you first and then your opponent, so you get an extra drive check in that sense. Just some Kagero cards and brand new front triggers and reprint of some triggers for Kagero, Link Joker and Nova Grapplers. So this is a new front trigger for Nova Grapplers. Just gives you the option to run 12 front triggers, and also they get one more new crit, so you can do 12 crit if you want to do that. So just gonna go through these. This is a really good card for not just heroes for Nova Grappler, but actually any kind of Nova Grappler can actually run this card because his skill is Counter Blast 1 on attack. He gets plus 5k for each card in the damage zone, which is really useful for rushing your opponent, especially if you're at 5, that's a 25k boost, bringing up to 33 on his own. And his second skill is that at the end of the turn, you can send him to Soul if you have a Hero Grade 3 and Counter Charge 1. So pretty good for all the counter charging that you're going to be doing. Just some utility cards for retiring for Kagero. I think he bounces himself back to hand. And for the first double rare we have for the set is, I don't know what this guy's name is, but he's a Link Joker card, and he's a Grade 3. It's really useful for the setup for Harmonix Messiah, and his skill is that when he attacks a Vanguard, during a turn, if you have a card that is locked on your side of the field, he gets plus 5k, and then when he attacks you can Soul Blast 1 and then choose 1 card from your hand, lock it, and then draw 1 card. And lock cards become unlocked at the end of the turn. Probably do a video going over that. And here's the new starter, the Neon Messiah starter. Alright. Here's a new common Grade 1 9k hero for Nova Grapplers. Some random cards. This is Lava Dragon's a new sort of budget build for Kagero. And we have another double R this time for Kagero, and he is the Dragonic Blade Master Searcher. So his skill is that you can Soul Blast 1 on call and check the top 7 cards of the deck and get 1 Dragonic Blade Master, add him to hand, and then plus 5k. So whether or not you get the Blade Master, you still get the plus 5k, but it's not... You might run him at a few copies, but I don't see him being a staple necessarily. Some new Nova Grappler cards. This one works with the Lava Dragon. This is the new Dragonic synergy. And one of the best cards I think for Nova Grapplers that is kind of overlooked this set is this, Drill the Duel. So his card is this. So his skill is that when he boosts a unit, you can discard 1 card from hand, and for that turn, that unit that was boosted, in all future attacks, that means even after he stands, when he attacks your opponent, your opponent has to drop 2 cards instead of 1 to guard. Basically that same skill that came first with Nova Grapplers, but you can put it on something like a Genocide Jack if you want to use it over and over again. Just some triggers and reprints. This is the other type of utility card that I think most Force clans are getting, which is the 7k base Grade 2 with 15k shield instead of the usual 5. So you sacrifice 3k power just to get 10k more shield. But very useful because for the most part, if you are just going to be calling units like for Messiahs and they're going to get power anyway, 7k doesn't matter as much, and the only problem is really if you ride him as your grade 2 Vanguard, which opens you up to more attacks. This is a new starter for Nova Grapplers, just a standard generic starter, and here is one of the new Wyverns that works with, I think it's Wyvern Doha, or could be the other one is Doha, but this is the grade 1 that when your opponent has no rear guards, then you get plus 5k, and his second skill is that if you are boosting the other Wyvern, this guy's name is Garan, and if you're boosting the other Wyvern Doha, then if the attack hits, you can counterblast 1, draw 1, and soul charge 1. Pretty useful because Kagero is focusing on soul now. And here we have the double rare bird, the new double rare for Kagero, and his skill is that when your opponent places a guard, when this unit boosts your Vanguard, or in a battle that it was boosting, you can soul blast 1 and remove it. It's important to note that he won't actually nullify the effect of a perfect guard or a sentinel, so that you do have to still it doesn't work against like a PG. You have to use his skill only when your opponent is dropping like 10k, 20k shields to guard your opponent's attack, or to guard your attack. And some reprint triggers, and here's the grade 2 7k base version for Kagero. So some pretty interesting options that Bushiroad's giving players, just very generic cards. Some may see it as Carton fillers, but it does give people kind of more options to play around with. So here's the other Dragonknight that works with the Lava Arm Dragon. I'll point it out again if it comes up. The 8k Interceptor. And this is the new set of grade 1 PGs. So they're basically the same as the trial deck ones that you get. The only difference is that for his second skill, he actually has a second skill. When you ride him, you can discard a card and draw a card, or draw a card and then discard a card. So pretty good for filtering if you want to go for budget options. Or if you want to play, 12 crits or something along those lines, then you don't have to play Sentinel PGs, draw trigger PGs anymore, but most people probably still will. A bunch of reprint triggers. So this is that card I was talking about, the Dragonknight. And we have this card. It's a Nova Grappler card. It gets 3k for every damage that you have when he attacks. And his skill is really good for Nova Grapplers. When a unit is sent from the rearguard circle to the drop zone, you can soul blast 1 and add it back to your hand. So that will probably help with Nova Grapplers getting their units retired over and over again. With him, you can retrieve as many cards that are retired as you have soul blast. And I probably showed it just now, but here is Dragonic Blade Master. And his first skill is that if your opponent has no rear guards, then this unit gets plus 5k and 1 critical. And his second skill is once per turn, if you have the Wyvern Strike Doha and Wyvern Garan, I think his name is, you can soul blast 1 grade 3 and discard 2 cards, and then you get 2 effects. The first one being you destroy your opponent's entire field, retire your opponent's field, and his second effect is that you can call a token. So we haven't seen a token yet, but when it comes up I will point it out. But the token skill is that when it attacks on the rear guard, you can do a twin drive as well. So really good card. And yeah, I'll go over it a little bit more in a separate video. But here we have the other option for Nova Grappler. So I think all XL clans are going to be getting this. A grade 2 with intercept 5k and only 3k power, but you see the big difference here is the 2 critical. So this gives the option of Nova Grapplers running something that has more pressure even if the power is low. But you don't have to dedicate critical triggers, so you can play a bunch of front triggers instead. Like I said, a really good utility card and something that I'll probably run 1 or 2 of in my own deck. A new starter for Kagero, just different artwork. This guy gives if you have a locked unit, you can soul blast 1 and give your Vanguard plus 10k. So it's something just to power up the Vanguard, especially useful because Messiah will be the smallest of all your rearguard attacks. And here we have this Panther guy. So he's a Nova Grappler hero card, and his skill is that on call you can counterblast 1, soul blast 2 on either Vanguard or rearguard circle and retire all units in the same column. And if he retired 1 or less rearguards, then that unit gets plus 15k for the rest of the turn. So it's a really good card because it gives you the only retiring options in Nova Grapplers, and I'll probably tag 1 or 2 in an upcoming review of a Nova Grappler deck that I'll be doing. And we have this bird for Link Joker, and his skill is that on call you can send the top card of your deck, put him face down, locked as a locked unit, and his second skill is active once per turn. You can soul blast 1 and do the exact same thing. Check the top card of the deck and put it face down as one of your locked units. Now it's important to note that most of the units that you are locking you'll be able to see, but for his first skill you actually can't see the unit before you send it the lock. So you have to choose which rearguard circle you want to put it on, then after that you can check what it is, but only once it's been put down. So pretty useful card. And his first skill is Vanguard only, so it's basically a free call and accelerating to accelerate your early game. And here is the token that I was talking about. So nothing special, and it can't be a normal call. It's in a separate deck at the side, just like the new Nectar tokens, but you'll probably just put 1 or 2 of him at the side. It's almost impossible. You can't actually get more than 1 token in one game. And just gonna run through some comments. Drill the duel, and we have the VR for this box. We have Spinning Valiant. So here is the new set build for Nova Grapplers, which is the hero build. And very interestingly, he focuses all attacks on the Vanguard. By the first skill, it means says that all units must and can only attack the Vanguard, which also protects him from the field wipe of Exculpate the Blaster. Only Spinning Valiant will be targeted, and your opponent basically can't retire your rearguards unless they use some skills. And his second skill is by far one of the most insane skills in the game so far. Counterblast 4 when he attacks. If you have 4 or more units in the front row, then you can use his skill, which is to give him 10k power, and Counterblast 4, for that turn your opponent must drop 3 cards for each of your attacks. So yeah, it's the finishing move, which is kind of why they want you to focus on attacking Spinning Valiant. But his skill allows you to rush them down and force them to drop basically 12 cards if they want to avoid taking a single damage that turn. So probably heroes will play more critical triggers to make use of that. And yeah, dropping 3 cards for a single attack is insane. But it's also a Counterblast 4, so unless you have a whole bunch of counter charges, you'll probably only be using this maximum once or twice a game. If you're lucky, then you get 2 times. And just a bunch of comments. This video is getting kind of long, so that same PG for Kagero. 2 more packs before we start going faster through these. And we have one of the best cards from the set in my opinion, a Nova Grappler card called Kick Kick Typhoon. His skill is on Vanguard and Rearguard. When he's called, if he's on the Vanguard circle or an additional Rearguard circle, which is XL, you can give one of your units, including himself, plus 5k power. So basically just choose something, give it 5k power. And his second skill is the one that makes it the very, very useful utility card, because his skill is once per turn when he attacks. If your entire front row is filled, then you can Counterblast 1 and stand another unit, which means that for the first time ever, you don't have to rely on Vanguard skills to stand your rearguards, and allows you to really get the most out of cards like Drill the Duel. Again, I will go through that in a separate video for Nova Grapplers. And for the last pack, there shouldn't be very much in here. Yep, just some rares. Here's a really good one for Nova Grapplers, a hero card that if you have 5 or more heroes on your rearguard, which is pretty hefty cost because that's 5 heroes and they have to stay on the rearguard, so if you intercept they don't work anymore. Vanguard or rearguard though, if you have 5 heroes on the rearguard, you can give all your guardians plus 10k shield, which means even that grade 1 shieldless, let me see what I can find it, the grade 1 shieldless 9k base will still get 10k shield. Let's see if I can find it here. So since this is a hero and a guardian, if you have her in the deck, she will work for multiple uses, either giving you that power boost or getting to use her as shield. Alright, so just a review of what we got, and we'll move on to the next box a little faster this time. Alright, so here's the second box opening, and we'll just be going through the doubles and above. So, I forgot to mention just now, but this box comes with the chance to pull an SCR, which is a marker, which is in foil. So it's a foil version of that. You also get the chance to pull SPs in this set. There are 9 different versions of SPs, double rare, triple rare cards. Oh, you got a point. I don't know what you want to do with that. And here's the Dote or the Dragonic Overlord, the end Xl2 Marker. And you get SPs, you get SCRs, SVRs as normal, and then you also get a chance to get an XVR, which I believe is 1 per 2 cartons, something along those lines. Alright, just gonna speed through this. Another one of these Link Joker cards, we went over him. Throw them off to this side. We've got the double R bird that helps you to guard break your opponent, sort of. Try to separate out the rares so it's easier to find it later. And we've got a new triple rare that we haven't seen yet. This is another Link Joker card that when he... Actually, I don't really know his skill. When he boosts an attack that attacks a Vanguard and the attack hits, you can bind one of your opponent's rearguards and then draw a card, something like that. If your Vanguard is grade 3 and above, you can also draw a card. So Counterblast 1, bind one of your opponent's rearguards on hit if you boosted with him. So a pretty good card, and not necessarily the best thing you would put in your deck because there's just a lot of space issues, especially with Messiah builds, but I think he's more support for the previous builds that came before. So just a couple of rares here. So we're looking for Messiahs now, just so you can see what that is. And Dragonic Overlord the ends as well. So 2 more rares. Oh, this feels like there's something in it. We have, yep, here is Messiah, the SVR. So we haven't gone through his skill yet. His skill is when he attacks, you can search for one card, any card from your deck, and put it face down in your rearguard circle as a locked unit, and shuffle your deck after that. And then once per turn when he attacks, or at the end of the battle where he attacks, you can, if you have a grade 3 unit in Soul, you can Counterblast 1, discard 1 card from hand, unlock as many units as possible, or as you want to, including your opponent's units. Now you can't lock your opponent's units in Standard at this point, but it works for Premium. And possibly in the future, we will get locking of opponent's units in Standard as well. But for now, he just draws you a card for each unit you unlock, which is pretty good. If you have at least 2 units, that's a +1. And then your front row, 2 rearguards in your front row get plus 15k, which is a really, really strong attack, because you'll be attacking at the maximum of 5 times, and the last 2 attacks will be boosted up by 15k. So, pretty good card. And just another rare. Oh, this card just has a skill where you can retire 2 of your rearguards and you get plus 5k and 1 crit. Kind of a weird filler card for Link Jokers, but I guess it gives them that option. There we go. We have this card, which is the one I was... Oh, it's not the one I was talking about, but this is a support card for Dragonic Overlord the End. So his skill is that you can Counterblast 1, send him to Soul, which helps with filling up the Soul for Dragonic Overlord skill. And you can give 1 unit that's named Dragonic Overlord the End, whether it's on Vanguard or Rearguard. You can give him the ability that when he attacks, your opponent must drop at least 2 cards. And this is particularly useful because Dragonic Overlord can attack up to 6 times. Rather, he can attack up to 3 times. And with this skill, your opponent has to drop at least 6 cards. And if they want to PG each and every single attack, that's dropping 9 cards. So yeah, it's one of the staples for Dragonic Overlord the End. Probably run as a 4-off, so you can make use of him as often as possible. Of course, stacking it doesn't make it 3 cards to drop. It just gives the ability twice, so there's no point in doing it then. The last 4 packs in this box. Two rares. Here is the Wyvern Strike Doha, I think it was. And his skill is that when you call him from hand, you can Counterblast 1 and search for that Grade 1 version, Grade 1 triple rare, don't know where it went just now, Grade 1 single rare, sorry, and he calls it the rearguard behind him, or just anywhere on field. And the second skill is that when you attack, your opponent must guard from, I think he can't guard with cards from his hand, or something like that. Let's see. He can't guard with normal units, so he has to drop a Grade 0 trigger unit to survive that attack. So yeah, it combos very well with the whole Blade Master theme of retiring all your opponent's rearguards. And here we go, we have this guy. I don't quite remember his name, but he's probably one of the most powerful support cards. Maybe not for Messiahs, because Messiahs focus more on lock, but his skill is that when he attacks, you can Counterblast 1 and lock one of your opponent's rearguards. There's no way to counter this, there's no way to prevent this from happening, so it's just not conditional. And if you locked a Grade 2 and above, or rather if you bind a Grade 2 and above unit, then you can Soul Charge 1, which is just really good for Messiah's Soul skills, which they'll need a lot of Soul to activate. And for the last pack, we have this Beast Deity guy. So he just gives you more consistency with the Beast Deity build for Nova Grapplers. And his skill is Counterblast 1. When he's called during the main phase, you can Counterblast 1 and discard 1 card from hand, and then he swings. He gets 3k, and then he swings at the Vanguard, your opponent's Vanguard. If they guarded this attack, then he stands again. So just gives far more consistency. And his skill only works if you have a Beast Deity Grade 3 Vanguard, so it's kind of limiting in that regard, but most likely the people who are playing this card will play all Beast Deity units anyway. So yeah, that was the second box. We'll try to get another one with Dragonic Overlord the End, and then we'll go to the speed unboxing. Alright guys, third box. Hopefully we get a Spinning Valiant Xl2 Marker, just to see what it's like. And nope, it's just another Dragonic Overlord Force Marker. And we're going to be speeding through these. We've seen most of the doubles and triples. And if you want to see that, that was the first part of this video. Now we're just looking for the cards that we haven't seen yet. A couple of rares. So this is the grade 2, the grade 1 card that I was talking about, the one that combos with this unit. So these two come as a set along with Dragonic Blade Master for that new build. Just gonna put that off to the side. Another one of these grade 2. His name is, he's some sort of monk. Burasto main monk. I think his name is Blast Monk. Yeah, that's his name. And we get another Dragonic Blade Master. Here's a new Nova Grappler card that we haven't seen yet. The forgot his name. Grant's Gust or something like that. And his skill is that when he attacks, and you have 2 or more units rested, you can Soul Blast 1 and Counter Blast 1, and this unit gets plus 10k. And then if you have 5 or more units that are in rest, then you can stand 2 of those rear guards as well. Kind of different take on the same Insights Riser kind of skill where you have a whole bunch of units and then you stand at least 2 units. But he gives you that option to use it first turn, stand at least 2 units if your opponent planning to rush your opponent. And yeah, he's an interesting card, but we'll just have to see how he works in a deck by playtesting. And just 2 more rares. Haven't seen the VR yet, so hopefully it's a Dragonic Overlord so we can talk about that. Oops. So another Kick Typhoon. In my opinion, the best Nova Grappler support card to come out since Brutal Jack. Another one of these birds. 2 more packs for the VR or SVR. And we get another Harmonix Messiah, so pretty good card. Yeah. So last pack, let's see whether we pull anything else. We still haven't pulled a single SP yet from the boxes that we've seen. And speak of the devil, here it is. 1 SP Kick Typhoon. And it's basically a borderless version of the same card. Looks pretty nice, and I think these are 3 per carton, so, and then 9 different designs, so collecting these will not be cheap. But definitely a collector's item. Here it is compared to the regular Kick Typhoon. Just see that borderless text, and the superior, it's textured if you guys are wondering. And yeah, that's the only difference there. Alright, we'll move on to the next box. I'll just put these off to the side. We're about a little bit over halfway done through this carton, and we haven't seen an XVR yet. So XVR, 1 box, the other box, and finally we get a Spinning Valiant. This is the Xl2 Marker, so that's what it looks like. All these markers will be pretty hard to find in the first few, one more point, in the first few sets, but as time goes by they'll become just as common as the other kinds of markers as well. So we have 24 packs, kind of like one of the old booster boxes. Glad Grants, that's his name. So with this set, you can actually build Kagero decks, Link Joker decks, and Nova Grappler decks from scratch because you have the triggers here, but you don't get to get Sentinels back, so you have to search for those. And here we have the grade 2, actually the triple R. I think this might be the only one that we haven't seen so far. So a skill is that when she attacks, you can Soul Blast 1 and discard a card, and then you can search for 1 unit that from your deck and put it face down as lock. I think that's the skill. And then draw a card afterwards. So most of the cards that lock something from deck or from hand, rather if they lock something from hand most of the time, they'll give you a draw, so it's a net plus 0, but then with Harmonix Messiah skill you can turn that into a +1. So we got another Harmonix Messiah here, so that makes 3 that we've seen so far, and looks like we'll have to check the other box, but that's why we opened 2 at one time. Another one of these birds. So I'm just gonna sort these through, because it's really difficult to find these after the fact. Here is Dragonic Blade Master again. Really good card. Most people build a separate build for him, and we're getting to the point in Vanguard where when you see Kagero, you might actually start to wonder which build the opponent's playing. That's kind of weird. We got, oh, these are 2 different boxes, but we got 2 of the same grade 2 there. We'll go back to this box and finish it up. This Black Panther guy, and a bunch of commons. getting a bit messy, so after this we'll probably tie it up before the next battle. Before the next video, I should say. And here we have one of the cards that we haven't seen yet. This is a Beast Deity card. So his skill only works if you're a grade 3 Beast Deity on the Vanguard. But his skill is really good. You can Soul Blast 1 when your Beast Deity Vanguard attacks, and you can stand him. So he's, I think, the only self-standing unit that we've got for Beast Deities that doesn't have like a really hefty cost. And even though he's only 8k, you can use him in a number of ways, especially when your opponent's at 5 damage. He's especially useful because they won't have any triggers to protect them, or any damage triggers that could give them that boost. On a rearguard circle becomes 18k, and we have Spinning Valiant XVR. So pretty good. I mean, it's an XVR, and these are not guaranteed 1 per carton. If you guys check out Freedom Duo's website, you'll see that he didn't get 1 in his carton. So getting any XVR is pretty good. Of course, this is kind of the less expensive one, but at the same time, it is pretty nice looking. You have that borderless outside, of course, borderless text, and you have the hot stamped Miwa, Nova Grappler, and the name there. So pretty nice. And the rest are rares. But yeah, this is a pretty good pull from this box. And it came actually from the same box as the Harmonics Messiah. So now we know that the Spinning Valiant XVR actually doesn't take up the VR spot in the box, and you do get your guaranteed number of VRs. Always a good thing to know. Always good information to have. Another Blade Master. I think the other one I got was from the other box. Let's see whether we can pull an SP from the other box, because I don't think we'll be pulling another SP from the same box, but from another box in the same carton, definitely a possibility. Another 2 rares, and we're moving on to this box. This almost definitely has something in it. Yep, we have this, another copy of this girl. Don't know what her name is. We have just 2 more rares, and I can't remember what this guy does. We have this guy, we haven't gone over him as... Oh, actually no, we did. This is the Dragonic Blade Master Searcher. So it's been a while since we pulled one of him. And actually with this, we're marking the start of the new, kind of the new era of Vanguard, where the first year of support is officially over, and we have the new ones. And here we have Doha. So this is the SP that I was talking about, the SP version. So here it is against its regular version. So just that same borderless text. Pretty nice looking card, and probably a staple for Blade Master decks, and people are more likely to want to get this one since Blade Master is a slightly cheaper option than Dragonic Overlord the End. And here we have still no VR yet, so we're still waiting for that in the last 6 packs here. And one more of these Beast Deity Grants. Oops. His name is Grant's Dragon. That's his name, Grant's Dragon. And we have Spinning Valiant for the VR as the set. So interestingly enough, we got this Spinning Valiant, I think... Oh no, that was the previous box, but we got kind of back-to-back Spinning Valiants and 1 Messiah. So if you had bought this box kind of as a separate thing, it'll be quite the investment. Just a couple more rares. And a couple more rares. After this, we're just gonna tidy up and then do a speed unboxing. And 2 more rares. Alright, we'll cut and come back when the rest of the stuff is sorted out. Hey guys, so I didn't get to take a picture of everything because I had to leave early, but every carton comes with 7 VRs of each type, so you get 7 Dragonic Overlord the End, 7 Harmonics Messiah, and 7 Spinning Valiant, and the usual 1 SVR of each type. And because this set doesn't come with ORs, instead that's replaced by SPs, and there are 9 different designs of SPs, and you get 3 of those per carton. So you saw Cake Typhoon and like one of the other Kagero cards. But then also you get a chance to pull either an XVR, which is a special foil design, borderless design, which you saw Spinning Valiant, or you get the chance to pull an SCR, which is the foiled marker for Xl2 or one of the Force 2 markers. So yeah, that's pretty much all for the rest of the video. Enjoy the speed unboxing, and we'll go over the cards Dragonic Overlord the End and Illumino Dragon in their own separate videos, because I didn't really get a chance to pull them on camera before the speed unboxing. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and as always, have fun, and remember, it's okay to play casual.